Right,
I'm
so
out of the classroom.
okay now we are recording. So we'll look at one-to-one functions, we'll look at even, odd, composite, and also completing the square method. So we'll find questions actually talking about that, so we'll be able to solve all those things. So let's go. So when you're asked to find whether the function is one-to-one, so the other word we use for one-to-one is what we call injective. So if a function is one-to-one, then it's actually called injective. There is also, if it's 1-to-2, it's bijective, but if it's 1-to-1, it's the injective. Sometimes they will tell you to say prove whether the following function is injective, sometimes bijective. They use those terms.
Injective.
Yes. So when is injective is
So
1,
by is 2.
when is injective is 1. Like when is 2, it's
Mm-hmm.
bijective.
Bijective.
Yes. So if two functions are by
Okay.
if a function is one-to-one or injective, then we need to expect something like, we can have, let's say that function we have, I'll label it to say f of x1, then I'll equate to
Mm-hmm.
the same function, but I'll change the variable as, let's say, f of x2. Then all those, they should give me to say x at the end, x1 should be equal to x2 at the end. That's what I should obtain if they are function, I mean they are one-to-one. But if they are not one-to-one, you see some behavior, they won't give this, they won't produce this.
Oh, so when they are injective, they should be the same.
Yes, the same variable should be equal to that variable. If it's
All right.
injective
Okay.
x, then will be equal to x.
Okay.
Yes. So now those are the things you expect. So we'll be using x1 and x2. That's how I like labeling them. So I can even use b1, b2, like to any variable you can use any alphabetical letter. Okay, so we can start with the first one. So I'll solve from there. So the first one, it's given as f of x is equal to 3x, I mean 3 minus 4x, like that. So what we do is we set to say, okay, I'll have, if this function is one-to-one, then it need to give me f of x1, then it should be equal to f of x2. Okay, that's how I will set it. So the first one, I'll say, okay, are you getting there? I hope we are not getting lost there.
No, I'm getting.
Okay, meaning that wherever, for this one, I'll
I'm
equate,
following.
yes, I'll equate both in fractions. I'll say, okay, this one will be 3x, 3 minus 4, where there was x here, I'll put x1, then is equals to, again, the same function, 3 minus 4, but where there was x there, I'll put x2. Is that okay? Is that okay? Can you answer, please? Is that okay? Answer. Is that okay? Okay. So this means, let me just proceed. So this means that when you solve this, you find that x and x will cancel. I mean 3 and 3, or you bring this 3 to the other side, it will be negative. It will cancel with that. In short, they have the same charges. So here we have negative 4 x 1, then is equal to negative 4 again x 2 there. So this means that we'll divide throughout by negative 4, also there by negative 4. So this means that we have x1 is equal to x2. So this, hence, if they are equal to this, then the function is bijective or one-to-one. That's how you can calculate that. So this function is one-to-one. Let's go, we calculate the question 2-1. The second question now. That's how you can calculate question 1. So question 2 will do the same as well. We equate this function, then we just set the other side to be x1, the other side be x2. So what we do for b, So say this side, I'll even just go direct to solving than me even stating the formula. So we'll have this side, I'll label the x's as x1, then plus 2, then we have 3x. Let me put that x as x1, x1, like that. Then this one is equals to, again here I'll put x2 where there is x. I'm changing things now. Then we have 3x x2 now. Okay, you see, that's how I've just equated everything. If we'll see how they should come out if they are one to one. So from there, then what do? We can now cross multiply. Crossing multiply, that means that we'll have 3x, okay, 3x2 times x1 plus 2, like that, then is equal to 3. Write 3x1 there. Okay, so 3x1 3x1 now, then times x2. All right, we are multiplying that times that, so x2 plus 2, like that. Okay, so this means that we can now distribute inside there, and we are going to have by the way, I can divide 3 throughout. 3 there goes, 3 there goes. So this means that I have x squared, open bracket, x1 plus 2 there, then is equals to x1, then open bracket, we have x2 plus 2 there. Is that okay? So from there, don't worry, you were out, so catch up the video percent. So from there, then we can finally say, okay, I could distribute this x there inside. So that will be x1, x2, then x1 plus 2x2, okay, then is equal to, then we also multiply that to say that will be x1 or x2, x1 plus 2x1. Okay, 2x1, that is 2x1. So from then, what can we do? We'll cancel the 2x1 because these one they have the same, so I'll cancel them like that. So I'll have 2x, in fact again also 2, I'll divide throughout now by 2 and also through by 2 because that's what will remain. So therefore we'll have x2 is equal to x1. So hence this is giving injective or one-to-one function. So therefore it's one-to-one because of what has come out. Okay, is that okay? Is that okay? Okay, so now we are going to determine whether the following functions are even, odd, or neither. What we need to know is that if a function is even, then when we insert that f of negative x in that function, it should be equal to, it should give the positive of f of x, like that. In short, even is like something with power 2, whereby the negative cancels. But when it is odd, we insert that the same f of negative wherever there is x, but we should be produce something equal of the function, but that function again multiplied times a negative. This is the rule for what's this? For known is for in. Okay. This one is for odd functions. Okay. Is that okay? So now looking at number 1, we'll be getting from both sides. So what you need to do is, like, look at the weight is this f of x, is this what we have there. So I'll say, okay, this side I'll put where there is this, it's already given as a function. So I'll write let me do this. I want you to be doing on both sides so that you can be moving properly. So remember the rule that we are using, we test first for even, then we test for odd. So once we test it comes, let's say it gives even rule, that means we won't go for odd because it has already worked out. So what we do is we say, okay, when we insert f of negative x there, f of negative x there, we should get the same f of x. So let us see if this will be true. So the first thing that we do is we say we insert now f of negative, wherever there's x we'll put negative x, that's the meaning. So there we'll say 4 times, okay, negative x, then minus 7 open bracket, then we have negative x there to the power 3, then is equal to the same function. This is already the function which we had f of x there, so I'll just put 4x minus 7 x cubed like that. Is that okay? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so this means that I'm multiplying now everywhere, so this will be 4x, negative 4x in fact, then that will be inside there 3 times 3 times x times 3 times what? 3 times x's, it will give you negative x cubed. So negative times that, it will give us positive 7 there. So positive 7 cubed then is equal to 4x minus 7x cubed. Are these the same? Hmm? Since this is not this is not even. Is that okay? Okay, so this is the first case we have tested it. Let us now also for I'll be very fast. Let us also test it for what's this? For the other guy, odd. Hi. So if it's odd, we'll use this rule. We'll say if we insert f of negative x, if it's odd, you should get the same function but multiply the same function, that function you have, multiplying it with the x like that. Multiplying that x, that function with the negative. That would be the meaning. Side where we insert that. In fact, I made a mistake to lab it because I would have just gotten that. You get the other function where I calculated the other part. Yes. Okay. Okay. So now what you are going to do is let us now try. So on this side, I'm going to put this one. So I know there for the 4 will be negative 4, right? Because where there is x I'm putting, that x has carried. Then that one, it will be now plus 7, 10. Because of these three once you substituted negative 3 there, it will be negative there, it will give negative as a result because it's odd. Then that will still remain positive because of this negative from x as well. So hence like that. Then the same function now multiply it with a negative. The same function we had multiplying with a negative, that would be 4x minus 7x cubed there. So we continue, negative 4x plus 7x cubed is equal to, will it be equal, I'm just trying here, so it is negative 4 there, x, then there plus 7x cubed. Is this equal to each other?